Hello everyone, welcome to this review of Nausea by Jean-Paul Sartre. If Kafka showed us the absurdity of the external world, Sartre drags us into the raw, visceral experience of existence itself. Published in 1938, this philosophical novel, Sartre's first, is a cornerstone of existentialism, blending diary entries, introspection, and moments of profound crisis into a disorienting masterpiece. It's denser than Kafka's novellas, but rewards patience with revelations that can shake your worldview. Today I will give you a spoken style review, including plot overview, themes, characters, and iconic quote with its meaning and why it's a must-read for anyone grappling with life's big questions. Let's feel the nausea. The story is presented as the journal of Anthony Quentin, a solitary historian living in the fictional port town of Bouville. He's researching a 18th century figure, the Marquis de Rollebon, but gradually loses interest as a strange nausea after takes him, a physical and existential sickness triggered by everyday objects, a pebble on the beach, a seat in a tram, the roots of a chestnut tree. These episodes reveal the sheer contingency of existence, stripping away meaning. Quentin observes the town's bourgeois inhabitants, reunites with a former lover Annie, and reflects on his past adventures. The narrative builds through dated entries, culminating in a park bench epiphany that crystallizes Sartre's philosophy. The prose is introspective and repetitive, mirroring the protagonist's obsessive thoughts with vivid, almost hallucinatory description. Sartre wrote Nausea in his late 20s, drawing from his own phenomenological insights and influences like Husserl and Heidegger. It predates his major treatises like Being and Nothingness, but already embodies existentialism core ideas. The themes are intensely philosophical. The title Nausea represents the dizziness of confronting existence without essence. Things just are, raw and superfluous, without purpose or justification. This leads to absurdity and contingency. Why this world, these objects, this life? Quentin rejects imposed meanings, stories, roles, history as bad faith. Alienation is pervasive from objects, others, and self. There's also freedom and responsibility. Once nausea strips illusion, one must create meaning through action. Unlike Kafka's external oppression, Sartre's horror is internal and ontological, the terror of pure being. It resonates today amid modern angst, meaningful overload, and nihilistic meme. The characters serve philosophical purposes. Quentin is Orland's intellectual, detached, increasingly unmoored. His nausea makes him hyper-aware, rejecting social norms and bourgeois rights to exist. Annie, his ex, shares his disillusionment but seeks meaning in perfect moments, fleeting, scripted highs that ultimately fail. The Dawn's figures, the self-taught man, cave patrons, portraits of elites are satirized as living in bad faith, justifying their existence through roles or ideals. Sartre makes Roquentin both repulsive and profoundly honest, forcing readers to confront their own evasions. One of the most iconic passages, often quoted as emblematic of the nausea, is Roquentin's reflection in the park. The chestnut tree root. It was a root. I couldn't remember it being anything else. The root, with its color, shape, its frozen movement, was below all explanation. Paraphrased across translation, Akailanis, everything was filled to overflowing with existence. More precisely, a standard quote is, I was the root of the chestnut tree, or rather, I was entirely conscious of its existence. It near-suited me. But the novel's essence shines in the nausea has given me a brief respite, but I know it will come back. It is my normal condition. A widely cited iconic moment is the essential thing is not contingency. I mean that by definition, existence is not necessity. To exist is simply to be there. What exists appears, lets itself be encountered, but you can never deduce it. This captures the core, its meaning. Objects and people exist without reasons, pure facticity, no inherent purpose. This contingency causes nausea, a revulsion at the too much of being, the vicious overflowing at presence without justifications. It correlates to existential dreams, stripping theological illusions, God essence preceding existence, reveals freedom's burden. We must invent meaning. The park scene with a black knobby root symbolizes this revelation. Nature's brute existence defies human narratives. Sartre contrasted with Virgil's adventures or stories that impose order. What makes Nausea brilliant is its embodiment of philosophy in fiction, ideas felt in the gut, not just thought. It's more abstract than Kafka but liberating. Nausea leads to potential authenticity, perhaps through art or contents just inspired ending hope, challenging and occasionally tedious. It's transformative if you're in the right headspace. In conclusion, nausea is an existential milestone that can induce its namesake discomfort while offering profound insight, based in Lloyd Alexander's classic translation or Robert Baldick's for clarity. If you've questioned why anything exists at all, this will articulate and intensify it. Thanks for listening. Has nausea ever hit you staring at an ordinary object? Share below. Until next time, embrace the absurdity.